My brothers and sisters and my beloved confreres, a very hearty welcome to each one of you to the 12th Sunday of the liturgical year. A young man wanted to join the monastery. He came to the master and told him, "I would like to join your monastery and live a way of life just like you." The master told him, "I agree with you, but there is one condition. You should be silent for the coming 10 days. You are not permitted to speak even a single word." The young man agreed, and he began this process of silence. After a couple of days, he began to find it very suffocating. Finally, he came to the master and asked him, "Why should I be silent in order to join the monastery?" And the master took him to a nearby open well. He took the bucket which was tied to a rope and put in the well. And he asked him, "What do you see there down?" And the young man told, "I do not see anything other than the troubled water." And the master took him back. After 10 minutes, they came again to the same open well. And the master told him, "Look now deep into the well and tell me, what do you see there?" And the young man, with all his reverence and love, told the master, "Now I see myself in the crystal clear water." Transforming silence. Yes, my brothers and sisters, today we have a beautiful passage from the Gospel of Mark. It is all about a Jesus who is sleeping at the rear of the boat in the midst of a tossing boat and stormy sea. In the Semitic background, if we look at the concept sea was always connected with the concept of evil spirit. Therefore, when Jesus gets up and calms the sea, is not only showing his power over the nature, but also over sinful events and evil spirits. Jesus sleeping at the rear of the boat. A beautiful scene. I'm simply taken up by this picture and was led into meditation to understand what a spirit he was possessing to have that calmness in the midst of trouble. This picture of Jesus is not only showing forth to us a tired Jesus after a long time of ministry, but it shows forth the calmness of a man who totally gives himself into the hands and into the providential care of God. If we tread through the Gospels, we find one very important thing about Jesus. After the day's ministry, he would always take a parting from his disciples, go into a distant place, and be silently in union with his Father. Today, he may not have got that opportunity, but he makes use of this opportunity in the boat to be in that union. And there you see the transforming union and the need to rise above the stormy wind in accordance with the situation. These disciples who are with Jesus in the boat are not strangers to wind and storm. They were fishermen and they knew very well what the troubles of the sea are. But at the same time, if the evangelist depicts that even they were afraid, it shows the aggressiveness of the situation. They needed to look towards someone who is capable of taking charge of their life. When I look at Jesus, what I find is that he does the same kind of an approach as though with a human being. He now approaches the nature. When he is healing a man who is possessed by the devil, he tells, "Be still," and come out of him. To the nature also he says, "Peace, be still." Jesus is showing us the meaning of faith in God. Faith is not merely an intellectual awareness. It is the transforming union with God in the depth of your being when you totally rely on the providential care of God. Yes, my brothers, my sisters, that's why I would like to once again repeat that same sentence which I always say. The providence of God does not mean that God will not give you problems and difficulties in your life, but in spite of your problems and difficulties, your God will take care of you. That's why in the first reading today from the book of Job, we are getting one question that God is asking Job. This is after Job decided to go and ask God a question: why should a righteous man suffer? And if we read through the chapters 38 to 41 of the book of Job, you would find hundreds of questions asked by God to Job. One among them is placed before us for reflection in the first reading. Who can shut the sea with the door, if not I? The almighty power of God who can control everything that is around you. Yes, my brothers, my sisters, this is the transforming silence that we need in order to be a transforming agent of the gospel values in our society, in our communities, in our families. Take yourself as an example for that. As a father, as a mother, as a superior of the community, as a provincial or even a superior general, are people able to approach you in order to have some kind of consolation with the hope that you have an authority in you? Do your children approach you when they are in trouble? Does your wife, your husband approach you when they are in struggles? In your community, is your leadership a leadership of authority, emerging out of that inner union and silence that you hold as the power of your life? How do you manage your life so that you can become a leader in order to guide others? That's why St. Paul in the second letter to the Corinthians says, Jesus Christ died for us so that we who live today will have life in and through him. And we are no more dead. We are to communicate Jesus' life towards others. A transforming silence that leads to a transforming union, and finally, effectiveness of our life through calming spirit. Yes, my brothers and sisters, let the lifestyle of Jesus take charge of us. Let us become agents of transformation and change in the world. Amen.